All right, Jennifer Ellis, thank you so much for being on the Damn. I wish somebody would have told me that virtual summit. It is so good to have you here. And I know as somebody who has been both in the corporate world, transition over into entrepreneurship, and you have the things that you're doing on any given day, it keeps it really fun. I'd love for you to tell the listeners in your own words, what is it that you do and why do you think it matters?
Thank you so much, Patty, for the opportunity to be here. I work with entrepreneurs, primarily women in the service industry that focus in three industries or who have service businesses that focus primarily in three industries: health and wellness, and fitness, and in beauty. And I help them figure out how to operationalize and message their business in order to generate the income that they're interested in. The thing that's unique about it is because the entrepreneurs that I work with have the skill sets. They know how to do what it is that they do, but they don't think holistically about their business. They don't think about what truly is required for me to operationalize my business and to be more efficient. What's necessary in order for me to continue to have customers come in and have a consistent group of customers in the pipeline. Also, too, they never think about revenue targets. They think, oh, I make whatever it is that I make, and never really think about what's necessary in order to make revenue, to make a certain revenue. So I try to help them. I lead them to shift their mindset to think, what is it that you want from your business other than the skills that you offer? What do you envision your business to look like? So that's where I come in and help them look really, I use the word holistically at the business that they, or the thing that it is that they do.
I love that because I think it's so important in that you can't just be random about it. I mean, we know that people will learn a specific skill set as a practitioner of the thing that they do, but they don't understand the business side of the thing that they do. And this is where you help. And so I think what you do is so important. So, why do you think it matters, though, in your
It
own way?
it matters because we spend the bulk of our time doing the thing that it is that we do to make a living. And so, in order to prevent burnout, in order to really live the life that we want, and in order to be able to truly create the thing that I've been thinking about lately is generational wealth. A lot of these entrepreneurs that I work with are first time business owners or never had a roadmap or somebody that they could look to. So, there are so many resources and opportunities available. So what I offer and what I can help them to do is to think differently about their business and to really think about, again, what is it that you want from this business other than doing the thing?
Yeah.
Like if you could just sit back and look at a crystal ball, how does this business how do you see this business working? And then help them to be able to plan for that. And that's a big conversation that many of them have never had or even thought about.
Right. Yeah, like really giving yourself permission to have a vision, which nobody shows you how to do that unless you stop and take a look at how profound that one question could be. Like, what do you want to create? So that's awesome. Okay, so that said, with the women that you're helping, what is a kind of like a macro level trend that you see as something that keeps them stuck, an obstacle, a challenge that's kind of common of why they're not getting their business off the ground?
Why they're not getting their business off the ground in terms of growth, and I say maybe revenue growth, even something like 10% growth is not planning. So it's just sort of like, oh, ho, ho, hum. I have 20 customers, and I'm not being hyperbolic, but I have 200 customers. But looking at how do I offer more value? So if for my hairstylist, for example, I've been doing hair for 10 years. Well, what incremental services could you offer? Could you offer a monthly membership package? Could you, instead of having 50 customers a week, could you have 15 and generate the same, if not more income? So teaching them how to plan for their business. And one of the most critical things is to truly look at their cost. Most of the stylists or most of the entrepreneurs that I work with don't really understand what their true costs of doing business are. They say, oh, I charge $100 for a haircut, but don't really understand what that profit is. They'll look at, well, it costs X to do booth rent. They don't factor in insurance. So really looking at what their true costs are for their business. And that truly puts a light bulb off, helps the light bulb go off. And then helping them to plan quarterly. We know we come from corporate. We know we have quarterly goals, monthly goals, annual goals. We know we have top line revenue targets, bottom line target, and profit targets. So being able to think about that in the book that you introduced me to several years ago from Mike McCallow's Profit First, I've been handing that book around to customers again, to clients that I have, to think about again, what is it that you want from your business other than the thing, from an income standpoint, from a lifestyle standpoint, and even more so too, mindset. How do you, as you mentioned, how do I envision this business looking like today from 60 to 90 to 100 days, even 2 or 3 years ago? In the future, what do I expect to generate from, what do I expect to get from this business? And so that's been a really big mind opener for a lot of the people that I'm working with.
Love it. I love it. Such important work. Okay, so let us transition over to the three. Damn, I wish somebody would have told me that. I know you've been in the game as an entrepreneur quite a bit, just like me. You've been in like that. Nobody tells you this, by the way, for those of you that are viewing. The transition from corporate to entrepreneurship is like super different. I'm like, oh, I got this. I got an MBA. You know what I mean? It's like, no,
Nothing.
right, right. Okay, so what are the three? Damn, I wish somebody told me that tips. What is number one in no particular order?
The number one thing that damn I wish someone had told me is to really develop the mindset of an entrepreneur. And it is not going to happen in your first 30 days. You probably need to work on your mindset 5 years before you go into business in order to really be prepared for the ebbs and flows that will help. So really shift your way of thinking. Number two, to develop the why. I mean, we know we've heard enough from Simon Sinek, start with why, but that why is going to more than carry you through during those difficult, challenging times. And then the third time is how to operationalize and scale the business. And scale the business doesn't necessarily mean I need to scale like Amazon, but how do you operate more efficiently and effectively? Because as entrepreneurs, we're constantly planning, getting new customers in the pipeline, and really looking at what it is that we do. So I think that those are the three things that damn I wish someone had told me about.
All right. So as we go into number one, I have a question for you. When you talk about developing your mindset, what has been the thing that perhaps gave you an aha, like something that you're like, ooh, that was good. Now I have shifted, right? Like there's something about what you heard, read, said that created a major aha moment.
The major aha moment was really to make the commitment to be an entrepreneur. And so that means that really understanding what your vision is, really understanding what resources will be required to have the longevity. Because I think if you are truly committed to entrepreneurship is not, oh, I've been doing this for 2 years and it didn't work out. And then that's certainly fine. I'm not disparaging or saying that that's not the path that some entrepreneurs will take, but you may have to fail and fail again and fail again in order to get it right. So don't be ashamed about it, but to truly be committed to staying in the business if that's what you believe that you're called to do. I think that's the biggest challenge. So that's what I mean from a mindset standpoint. You have to surround yourself with other entrepreneurs, people that have a job. There's nothing against that because I had one for 20 years. There's nothing around that. But really being in a community for people who can support you, that can give you guidance, that understand the challenges that you will face as an entrepreneur, because it's very different from a person that has a job.
Absolutely. And so for number two, when you talk about the power of developing your own why, I know we've heard that before, but how important is it? Like, how will you know? Because I know early on, I had this thing like, you got to find the why that makes you cry. And what's so fascinating is that I was like, it's not my family. I mean, I love my family and everything like that, but it wasn't anything like that. And I found it like it was a bit of a challenge for me to find my why. So do you have any suggestions for people that are feeling like, I don't know that I found my why yet?
For those, you may never find it, but for me, and it took a long time and it's constantly evolving, I certainly haven't arrived, but it's the way that I feel in my gut. I have no problem with having a job, but that just does not make me giggle inside. And I am somewhat part woo-woo, part not woo-woo, but it really is what I feel like in my gut that I'm compelled to do. Like I get super excited when I can work with entrepreneurs or with small businesses. There's not, I'm excited to work with a company or an organization, but it's just a different thing. Because again, just tapping into like the women that I work with, most of the time they didn't have a role model, or they're the first in their family. So a lot is riding on how successful they are. So being able to give them just the tools or some nuggets or some support. So that's really what motivates me. That's the that's what I mean being when I'm saying staying committed to the why. It's that one thing that you feel a tug or just that you will die on the sword for. That's just how committed I am.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. For me, I didn't even realize what it was until for me, it was like the ability to serve. And it sounds like you are in the same boat, like really shifting in my, I work with women only, but the ability to shift them is just so much more empowering than any a corporate gig I would have ever gotten, right? Because like you're literally changing that person, their family, the the lineage. I mean, it's so powerful, it's so significant. So thank you for sharing that. And then three, in terms of how to operationalize and scale. When you talk about operationalize, what maybe one, two, three things can somebody do if they're like, oh, that sounds really intriguing. I don't have a good handle on my expenses. What can I do, Jennifer?
So just having some of the what I consider some of the basic tools. So like if you're most of the folks that I work with are in the service business. So if you know you have a gym and you know you have the capacity to have 30 clients, have a scheduling software or tool available. Same thing for the beauty professional. So that something fundamental is that being able to track your expenses. So do you use fresh software or QuickBooks or whatever it is, things like that. Being able to just accept money. A lot of the clients are still relying on social media, and we see what's happening with Twitter today. Whatever it is, I don't have an opinion one way or the other, but having an infrastructure in place in order to be able to communicate and nurture with your clients. And so now they're understanding, oh, I do need something to be able to communicate with my clients. Maybe I do need to be able to email or text them to confirm appointments. So things like that. So things that are foundational in order to be able to operate are essential to be able to have. And even something as basic as how to accept money. We know we're almost in a cashless society. So it makes sense that you have a Stripe account accepted or Zelle or Cash App or Venmo or whatever it is that you choose to use. But you have to make it easy or simple to be able to conduct business with you. So those are the things that are in terms of being able to operationalize. And so if you want to run a special, again, how do you contact your customer? If you have all of your clients in your cell phone, that may work. But what about using some software to be able to email or text them? Those things are so economical. So just being able to expose and teach how to use those tools has been extremely valuable.
Most definitely. As somebody that lost unceremoniously, my Instagram got completely taken off. Don't know, like all almost 4,000 people that I had connected with. This was it's almost been a year, and I fought it, and it didn't matter. So I know so many people that only build online, and that's such a disservice. And what you're saying is extremely important. I say the same thing. Do not build your empire on rented land. That is like the one thing I'm really passionate about. I say it over and over and over again, because as somebody that had that and then it gets taken away, you have no recourse. And then
Can I just say something? I'm working with a bakery client in the city, and she had 33,000 followers on Instagram. Account got hacked, had no way to get in touch with them. So she is literally starting over.
See what I'm saying, y'all? Like, please take this as a vital tip. So, okay, I'm going to recap for everybody. Number one is develop the mindset. Number two is developing your why. Number three is how to operationalize and scale. And so very important tips here for you. And damn, I wish somebody would have told me that when I first started. I know that for sure. So, Jennifer, how do people get in touch with you? Find out more about how you can help them operationalize and scale and really treat their business like a business.
Sure. My website is simplemantramarketing.com, simplemantramarketing.com, how to get in touch with me. I'm on Instagram as Simple Mantra Marketing and Twitter for as long as we have no idea. I mean, I'm joking, but on Twitter as Simple Mantra Marketing as well.
Excellent. All right. And all those links will be right below this video. Make sure to connect with Jennifer. She's a real deal. She's in it for the long haul, as you heard, very committed to helping entrepreneurs thrive. So I invite you to check that out. Links right below. Jennifer, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and your expertise.
Thank you so much, Patty. I appreciate being here.